Hi guys, Tiffany here. Oh, it's not working. Nope, not gonna stay. Hi guys, Tiffany here. Welcome to my quilting life. If you are new to my channel and realize that everything's gone wacky wild, subscribe because you will like it. I keep everything real, at least I attempt to, while I am attempting to get this situated so that I can actually be live from a different angle because my phone has to be on a charger. It is dead. I just tried to go live from the iPad and it did not work. So I am going to turn you guys to the sewing machine. We are going to hope that you can see me and my sewing. Let's see. I'm turning it. I'm tipping it, turning it, tipping it. Seeing how close I can get, but you can still see me and my machine. Now let me come on the front side and see where we're at. Because I just tried to go live from this iPad and it kept knocking me off signal. So I don't know what the heck. I'm not going to do that no more. So I'm sorry for all those that caught that last video that was a little on the disaster side. I have no idea why this thing does not go online, and then when it'll connect at a whatever time it always wants to set a time, and then I press go live. As soon as I connect, within a minute it just goes pew and it's gone. So I have no idea. I'm tired of playing with it, so I'm just gonna use my phone, which is dead, but it's on the charger. So hopefully everybody sees that I'm on, because I didn't get to let anybody know I was coming. So hi Anne, hi Vicky, hi Shirley, and hi Mary. Right? Is that one Mary? Quilting for the Soul. I try to remember. It's so hard. So I needed a drink of water. Okay. I am in the most grouchiest mood. You guys will probably never see me ever in this grouchy mood. Sarah. Okay, there's a Mary also that has a weird name like that. It will come to me sooner or later. I will get it correct. I have the shakes. Really, really, really bad. I am struggling today so much. But I got the okay, let's see if I can't remember to turn that down and off. Okay. I'm working on a really slow-mo basis because I'm shaky. My body decided it does not want to work correctly. I can't see straight, can't think straight. I could talk straight mostly, but by tomorrow it probably will be gone because I could feel it. I could feel it coming. And I can't focus. I'm having a hard time focusing. Not like focus isn't on what I'm doing, but focusing is my eyeballs. So yeah, it's from having optic neuritis, which is part of having MS. Anyways, I totally need to bind this quilt. You know, you guys remember. Oh my god, I can't even pick it up. Let's put that down there and hope that it don't fall. This quilt, remember that? Okay, because I did it in all the Insomniac episodes. I need to bind it. My binding is ready. I made it in a video so that you guys can see. Now I took this down just a little bit more. I totally want you guys in an angle where you can see the sewing. I'm just hoping that the quilt doesn't hit the camera and knock it over, because that won't be nice. Hi Pamela. I'm going to stick this behind me. I got to go put the things in front of the door because when I was frustrated with the iPad, I didn't get a chance to put anything in front of the door. But this is episode 32 of the Insomniac quilting series, and I am binding a quilt that I have been working on, episode 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, because every one of those episodes has something to do with this quilt, either quilting and or making the binding, which was very short. I did not do the video on making the tag, but I told you guys I would make it, and I made it out of the same color as the fabric. I named this quilt Fall Fair, and this is what I put on tags. My tags have a whatever the stuff is that irons on. It has that. Now I'm going to be stuck on it. whatever. It has that to make it a little bit more stiff so that I can put it on the corner. And I actually cut it to where when I do lay it on the corner, it's going to lay, and I'm going to show you right now, the same direction as that. Interfacing, that's what it's called. I just had that in my brain. Stabilizer, that's right, exactly. So this is how it'll fit. See how the pattern goes with it, the way I folded it. Okay, so that's how I'm putting the tag on. I did go and grab the peach color from the long arm and brought it in here so that I can attach the binding with this peach color. And I want to be as accurate as possible because you can see on the back, the color does show. So when I attach the binding to the front, I want to make sure that my line is straight. And then that's going to be super hard with the shakes, let me tell you. But I'm going to do it, and I'm going to get it all correct. So let me put this in front of the door real quick. All right. I hope all of you guys are in your pajamas hanging out with me. I'm wearing my Olaf pajama pants. And you're seeing more of my machine than my face, but that's okay because I can look down right here and see you, or I can peek my head over here, but you can at least see what I'm doing, hopefully, as close as I can get you so that you could see, because I'm connected to a charger again, like I said. All right, let's see who else is here. Okay, hi, Charla. I hope everyone is well. I'm trying to be well. All right, so let's get to it. I'm going to stitch this on first, and I'm going to put my little, so you guys can see, whoever's new to quilting, it is a magnetic seam guide, and it magnetizes right here. And I'm going to put it at 1/4 inch. My binding is, I forgot what I cut my binding at. 2.5. So I did 2.5 binding. This was like a 8-inch square, but I always trim it down afterwards so that you can see the writing on both sides. And when it's sewn in, I don't hit any of the words. I have done that several times in the past. So I'm going to lay this on here first and put this on here first. Again, I'm using that peach orange. It looks orange, but it's called peach color thread. And I guess I didn't thread my needle, or maybe I didn't, it came out. And Anna, this needle threader is a savior for me because I cannot use my needle threader that's built on my machine. I don't know how retarded I am, but I just cannot do it. What is wrong? Did I not put a bobbin in? I thought I put the bobbin in too. Guess I need a little bit more hang. Let's try this again. One more time, Tiffany, one more time. I will get it. And I'll check the comments periodically. There we go. Let me change that stitch length. Oh, it also would help if I put my thing back down. I was trying to sew something earlier, and I had to lift my foot up. There we go. Whew. I was starting to worry that I was doing something wrong. Okay, turn it real quick. I have my binding and everything just kind of sitting up here on this. So I'm going to flatten this out and hold it down here. I like my tags to be on super duper tight so that it sits and it doesn't pucker or fold. I don't know about you guys, but this is just how I'm used to doing things. So now everything's back where I had it. And we're going to attempt to put some binding on now. I'm going to find an end because I have a big, huge mess. I used 4 strips from the length of how the quilt was loaded on the long arm, so I'm using the backing as the front. Okay, let's see. Hi, Tanya. Hi, Kim. Sorry I couldn't tell anybody in advance that I was coming on. I think only one of you was texted. It was Vicky was messaging me prior to, so I said I was going live in a few minutes because she messaged me, hey, you went live, but the notification's gone. So that was a mess up video. It shouldn't be there either. I deleted it. Okay, so I'm going to put that behind me and I'll just like tip my head back and look. So for binding, for those that are new, and I'm going to tip this down just a little bit more. There we go. For those that are new, always leave a tail. And I know that today, Jean True Love posted a video of binding, but she does curved ends. She curves her ends. I don't do that. A lot of people do their binding a lot different. I find the way I do it quite easily. She does everything else the same except for the curved corners and no mitered corners. I do mitered corners. So we always start with a tail about this much. It's about 6, I don't know, 12 inches or so. I just put a bunch of inches, and then as long as I have room to not have to struggle with putting it on, and then I sew it on with a 1/4 inch seam. And I back stitch right here, and I'm also stitching with like a 2.7. It's a pretty long, it's a little bit longer stitch length because it doesn't really need to be super duper tight because you're sealing it on both sides. There's a seal on this side, and when you flip it over, there'll be a seal on the other side. So I try not to waste too much thread when putting it on, and it's cleaner and it folds nicer when there's a little bit of give from a wider stitch length, if that makes any sense at all. I'm hoping that you guys aren't vibrating too much and that you're in a good angle. I do have to keep checking to make sure that the phone don't die like completely. Okay, good. It's not going to die completely. All right. And like some people have asked, so I'm going to bring this as close as I possibly can right now, how to flip those ends. And we're going to come from the back side so you can see from the back side what it looks like. Okay. So I hope you can see that I'm going to come down and I'm going to stop a 1/4 inch away from this edge right here. So I'm just going to lay it on here nicely. I'm going to put my finger, and I kind of have like a line that's on the fabric, so I'm using that as my point reference of where to stop. And then I back stitch, turn the whole entire thing. I'm hoping you can see this. I'm going to take my binding and I'm going to fold it up like this. And I'm going to create a 45-degree angle. And I'm going to use my finger to kind of just force it down so it kind of wants to stay. Then I'm going to take and fold it back onto itself, except right here at the end, I'm going to line that fold up with the top. And then I'm going to take and put my finger on here, and I know you can see that I creased it right here. Can you see that? That crease with my fingernail? I'm going to put the needle down right in that crease. So I'm going to adjust it where I could see, put my needle down in the crease, take forward and stitch backwards, and I'm going to turn this whole entire quilt now. Find my other end and stitch down this whole entire side in hopes that the rest of the darn thing stays on the table because I have the shapes and I'm kind of weak. Let's see, everybody's saying hi, 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 hi. Okay, let's see. Rain, snow, vibrating, just focusing. Okay. I have a Bernina and have so much trouble using my needle threader also. Yeah, I just 100% have issues. This needle threader, I've tried it with it all the way up. I've tried it with it all the way down. I've tried it with the needle halfway. I don't know how just doesn't work for me. So I'm going to shoot down this edge. Bring you that way because the quilt's going to hit it, guys. Hi, Jill. guess it was me having trouble seeing you. And I just kind of like, I don't know if you guys can see, I hold this in my hand like this, binding, and I hold it down, and then I use my middle finger to go through the quilt too and line it up. I have a really big, easier way when I have my first finger under, like especially when strip piecing and stuff, my first finger, thumb on top, and the rest of everything under my middle finger, and just holding it, adjusting, and sewing the whole way. And it comes quick and easy as long as the binding isn't tangled up. Sewing a 1/4 inch seam all the way. And I'm already coming down. This must be the bottom of the quilt because I'm coming down to an edge. And also, I have no idea where these seams are going to land on this one, honestly, because I used the backing and cut it up to make this. So the pieces are like 80-something inches long. So far, one landed here, so the next one should land somewhere on the way, the other way. I'm going to come down to this edge and stop a 1/4 away from the edge. And come slowly right there. Pick it up, turn it. Hi, Sue Ann. If I miss your name, it's only because I'm seeing them as they pop up on the screen when I see the screen. And my hair, look at this. This is my hair. It is tangled up in everything. You see that? Okay, so now I'm going to use my finger, make that 45-degree angle. You could see that. See, 45-degree angle. Then fold it down on top of itself. Right here at the edge. I'm going to use my finger again to find that seam that I made, so you can see that. Right here. Lift my foot, put my needle down in that crease that I just made with my finger. I keep forgetting I'm using my knee lift and not my other part. Take a stitch forward, stitch back, and then leave the needle down, turn the whole entire quilt, and put the corner on my lap. Put the rest of the quilt on the table, if I can. I'm looking at here live finally. I like doing mitered corners also. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know, I'm my own master at it. That's why I said before in plenty of videos, I actually don't have trouble with any part of the quilting process. And you guys could tell me now, if you want, I can put the camera back if you would rather see me. Unless you would rather watch the sewing process, then that's okay. I'll leave it. Now that you guys have seen how to do the mitered corners, I could put the camera back. Let me know. Do you have another project in mind after you finish this quilt? Can you see me? No. I actually have lots of projects in mind, but I can't start them because I have customers to do. Not like that's a bad thing. This is how I do my binding for the last 8 years. Let's see, I sewed tonight in my studio, 16 singer like yours. Very fast and love it. That's awesome. I'm binding the same way. It's so much easier. Okay, I'm going to keep going. I'm almost to another corner again. Goes on pretty quick. This is a lap twin size, so it should go pretty quick. So again, I'll lift it up. Use my finger, push it down. So there's no tools necessary for any of this besides a mighty fingernail that can make creases. All right, now I'm gonna pick up the whole set, put it on my lap. Try to keep this whole quilt up on the. Oh, that's weird. I have binding in my or batting in my stitches on the back. That was weird. Must have got cut. I do pick up stuff off the garage floor. Oh, and look, a seam ended right here. So I'm really barely hitting any seams, and they're not landing in the corner. So that's good. I have a big tangle of binding. Charlotte taught myself how to quilt, and that's how I've done one for the last 20 years. Pamela is in awe of you getting things done whenever you feel well or not. It's pretty amazing. Quilting is therapy. Yes, definitely therapy for me. But I also don't have the stamina. I don't have the stamina either, but I started a YouTube channel for you. So because I want to teach. So whether I feel good or bad, I need to do it. I think binding is probably one of the more easier things to do anyway. So that's probably why this is something I can do and not make too many mistakes while I don't feel good. My hair, I swear. My hair has been falling out really, really bad, guys. And I don't know why. I don't know. I also been getting acne like crazy. Like maybe my body is going through real menopause or something, even though I was forced into menopause. I'm wondering if it's like some real stuff. Night sweats all the time, hot flashes all the time. Cramping for stuff I don't even have cramps to have cramps for. It's kind of weird. I'm having after hysterectomy menopause. That's what they call it. All right, come closer. All right, this is the last corner, I think. So I'm going to flip it up. Crease it really good, and I think it's almost time I push the camera back because I would rather see you guys, and nobody said anything, so I'm just going to push it back where it was. Hi guys. I like when it bothers me when you can't see me or when I can't talk fully in like full form, but I just don't want the camera to be hit by the machine, but I also want you to see the machine. All right, create my little creasy thing, lift it up, put the needle down. Find the end of the quilt, put it on my lap. Whoa, don't drop the whole thing though. I should just keep my ironing board at the end of this table, but it gets in the way when I do other things because that's what I use for an extension is my ironing board. Did that actually go the whole way? Oh, it did. Good. I had to check. For some reason, I felt like it didn't. Depressed how I'm feeling. Watch on Tiffany. So I always feel better. I know I can push through. Aw, Kim. I love that orange fabric backing. It's nice. I love binding. Tiffany can overcome her pain. I can't. Talk about your seam guide. Love binding also because it means the LOL. It means the end is probably what it's supposed to say. Yep, means I'm almost done. And I have like this. Man, I have tons extra. That's awesome. Coming up on another seam. Look at that. It's almost virtually seamless all the way around. There's only like 4 seams. There'll be 5 when I combine this. I just gotta know when to stop. So I'm gonna stop about right here. Okay. Back stitch, break it. And we're gonna turn the camera over to the front side, bend you down so that you can see how I put it together. So I always lay it out like so. And I have lots of extra. Look how much extra I have. So that's good. I can add it to another pile. Some people take a piece of fabric and chop it off and use that as the amount, but I'm not going to do that because that's not what I do. I'm going to come about right here, cut a straight line on my original start side, lay my ruler on the 2.5 inch line after it's all nice and flat, 2.5, leave it right there. Take this piece, put it over it very nicely. Everything's nice and tight. Wow, flat. There's no looseness about it. I'm going to slide my scissors along that ruler and cut. Sometimes I have a not very straight cut because I have shakes. That's okay. It's straight now. All right, look at all the extra. I can use that in something totally different. Now, bunch it up. Bunch up the quilt. Bunch up the quilt. Open this side. See? So the fold is facing up. Then take the other side with the fold facing down. Don't twist or turn because I've accidentally turned it before. I don't know how many of you probably accidentally done it, but I have accidentally done it. Make sure it's straight. Lay it on there. Right sides together. I'm going to just, because of video's sake and my shakes, I'm going to throw a pin in right here. Keep this bunched up. And then I'm going to open it again because I put the pin on that end. And I'm going to put a pin on this side. Like that. And I'm going to sew from this corner down to that corner, for those that don't know. All right, so I'm going to take this like this, over to the sewing machine, turn it back over there for just a second, hold this quilt up in its big disaster of a mess. I'm going to move my seam guide out of the way. Make sure you have that quilt in your arms. See how I tucked the whole quilt under my arm? Like that. Makes it so much easier. No matter what size that quilt is, tuck it up under your arm to hold it and bunch it up. Get this under here. I'm going to start in this corner. I'm going to change my stitch length real quick because I forgot that it's really tight or really loose. I'm going to start a couple stitches. Pick the weight up of the quilt. Bend this over, this nice and straight. I'm having strugglies today, but that's okay. Well, I will overcome. Need this piece under there. There we go. Come back this way. Thank you. Can you tell I'm struggling today, guys? Usually I don't even pin. I'm gonna sew from corner to corner. Very slowly. Very slowly. Okay, now I'm gonna remove these dumb pins. Okay, then I'm gonna open it like that. See? Oh, look, it lays flat. Then cut it off. Sorry, I have to be very careful when I shake when I'm using scissors, or else I really, really have issues. Big, huge issues. All right. Finger press it to one side or the other, don't really matter. And then open it. Bring this back up. I'm gonna put my seam guide back, or else I will screw up, because that's what I do. I'm a screw up. This under, back stitch, and sew down until I get to where I started. Oops, and that also had a bigger stitch length. And beyond where I started, I'm going to trim some threads, and then I'll turn the camera back where it was. So now everything's attached nicely. All right, guys. Let's do the fold over part now. I need more cord. More cord. There we go. Okay. Let's check comments before I turn this whole thing over. Sorry, twitching in my neck, and it like seriously aggravates. It's like the trigeminal nerve. Oh, just irritating me. Oops, don't do that, Tiffy. Don't do that. Looking great. Okay, binding lines. Okay, there we go. And are you able to stick most of your quilts in the washer, or do you take them to the laundromat? 90% of the quilts I make for my videos here, they can fit in my washer because they're queen size or less. Any of my custom quilts that customers have wanted that are king size, and or the kind that I use flannel, fleece, or what is it called? It's really fluffy. Anyways, if I use any of those kind of things as backing, they won't fit in my washer. I have a very small washer, and because it has that center agitating thingamabobber, they don't fit. If you have a washer that doesn't have an agitator in it, but the washing machine still washes your clothes properly, because that's how it's made to work, then quilts obviously fit nicely in there. But because I have an agitator, or any of you who have an agitator, even in the deep dish, I have a deep dish washing machine, king size does not fit, and or queen size that have flannel, fleece, or whatever on the back, you know, thicker fabrics, or quilted with thicker batting. I did do a quilt that had 2 layers of cotton batting in it, because that's what they wanted, and it was so thick it didn't fit in my washer. So I gave them a bunch of color catchers. That's what I do. If it doesn't fit in my washer, I give them color catchers with, you know, when they order something from me. So, but some of the quilts I've been doing for tutorials, I don't even wash anymore. They're just getting stacked up in a closet for me to sell, because I don't know what else to do with them unless they sell. Why did measure 2.5? Was it because of how wide the binding is? Yes, that is why I cut that and measured 2.5 in from where I had cut that previous strip. I have tons of videos. If you go back and watch a lot of my videos, a lot of them are binding, and it says binding, and it'll show you how I do that. It's so very easy. It takes away from using any kind of tools like the binding tool, which is actually good to make a quilt. It's not really for binding. I never understood it. So, I wanted to sew tonight, but went and bought a really nice craft sewing desk, came home, ate, and then my body said, nope, I'm tired. Aw, well, it's nice that you got yourself a craft sewing desk. That's cool. Got it. Where did you get the seam guide? I bought it on Amazon. It was like $1. And then I think it was $1 shipping because I don't have Amazon Prime, so I have to pay shipping. So it was like $1 and $1 shipping. And I have two. I have one for this machine and one for the brother. So laying here in my PJs watching YouTube, drinking Diet Coke and eating a reheated bean and cheese with extra red sauce for Taco Bell. Don't say Taco Bell, you're gonna make me want nachos. I love having me a nacho Bel Grande with no tomato. I don't really like tomatoes. I like tomatoes sometimes, but tomatoes I don't like them. Plus they give me really bad acid, and I already have GERD, so I won't want it worse. Congratulations, Anne. I need a sewing table. Let's see. Pamela is destroying a bag of ginger snaps with almond silk. Ooh. I just had ginger snaps earlier. Like, I literally eat the crap out of those. So much that even Chris, one of the subscribers, sent me a bag because I eat them like crazy. They help with my stomach aches, actually. I get really bad stomach aches, and eating ginger snaps help. Let's see. That's awesome. I'll be eating some Girl Scouts later for dessert, and did cut out 164 2.5 by 4.5 strips and sewed them, and gonna make a chevron quilt. My third. Wait. 164 2.5 by 4.5 inch to make a chevron quilt. I'm wondering how you do that with rectangles. Is it a pattern, Anne? Listening to my husband snore. Mine don't snore. I snore. He don't. I do. He makes like a slight sound, but he's awake. All right, let's move this out of the way now. Turn the quilt around so that it's right side up. And do my best to keep it on the table like this. Oh, and last night I was eating pistachios, and I broke my nail off. That's my real nail, by the way. I get my real nails acrylic, so they are hard and like don't move, and you could tell they're really thin. But yeah, I was breaking the pistachios. I have really, really thin nails to start with in real life. See that? Super duper thin. And they bend and break really easily. I don't want to do it with the camera because I don't want it to pop off while I'm live, but I have super thin nails. So I was popping pistachios open and it snapped my finger off. It's a good thing I caught it though, or else it would have ended up in my mouth. All right, here we go. I'm going to flip this around to the front. I'm not going to yank it. I'm just going to kind of roll it over. And again, I have to try to keep my stitching really accurate because if I don't, we're going to see the stitching because it's quite visible. Listening. Okay, I saw that. Yeah, seen a picture on Pinterest. Oh, geez, that sucks. Men snore, women purr. Break one nail, and they all tend to go. My nails do the same thing. Yeah, this one did too. See how that one's short compared to the rest and like wide? I just filed it down because the tip broke off of it. But yeah, then this one went with pistachios. I don't know how I broke this one, but after this time, I'm not going to actually get fills this next time because we need to save a little bit of money, and I'm just going to have funky nails for a while. I'll paint them though for my videos so that they look half-ass nice because I like my nails painted. All right, here we go. Folding to the front, and I'm going to sew all the way around. So I'm going to take a stitch first. I'm going to change my stitch length to a 3. Why 3? Because I think it looks cleaner, and the stitching at 3 on my machine is almost like the 10 stitches per inch. See the stitching here? It's almost like the 10 stitches per inch in the quilting in the first place. So that's why I kind of do that, because I usually use 10 stitches per inch in the quilting phase. So the 3 on here is almost like that. So I'm just folding it over nicely and sewing along the edge. I'm going to attempt to do this all the way around really nicely. So here I go. Let's see how quick I can get this done. As long as I stay on that edge. Sometimes I veer, but I try not to. So let me hold this to see if that's close enough. Let me do a little bit more so I can hold it up and show you why I do it this way. Since I don't hand stitch, I want it to look clean, you know. Is it close enough yet? Nope. Try a little bit more. And I also take any threads from the quilting out of the way while I'm at it. And there we have my first mess up. Come back a little. Take a couple stitches. Beyond that. Okay. Now let's see. I'm going to show you this because I think it's very important to see. Okay. So see the stitching along this and see my stitching in the quilting itself. That is why I set my machine quilting or my machine stitches to a 3, because I use 10 stitches per inch in the quilting. So I think it looks very, very clean, and it matches the same distance as the quilting almost. So I really like that. I really like how it shows up. It looks super clean. Oops. I know you guys don't want to stare at my face like that. So that's why I do what I do with my fold over. And the back always has a line that goes all the way around, because it never lands in that ditch ever, no matter what I do. I've tried millions of times. I've even tried sewing from the back, and I've never caught the front. So I just do it this way. I don't care that it matches. It looks just like a stitch, you know, all the way around. Like, just keeps it looking nice and professional, I guess. Yeah, exactly. Very professional. Okay. So I just fold it over, and I kind of hold it pretty tight when I do the fold over. That keeps it from folding at the lip, because the lip right here is literally, this lip is literally in the out. Where are we at? I can't see my screen. So in here, right there, see that? The lip is literally inside there. I'm running it along the center almost. See? I don't really know if I can see it very well. I kept it on the front facing camera so you can see. I just, if anybody was curious, that's how it runs through the front like that. Sorry, I'm trying to see what that sound is. I keep hearing a sound. Sometimes I hear things when I'm in here and I'm like, what the heck is that sound? What is that sound I keep hearing out here? Oh, you don't hear it? Okay, sorry. I'll be right back, guys. I gotta put the thing back in front of the door. Room. CJ's bedroom is on the other side of that wall behind me, so I just have to tap on it and he can hear me. He's up playing video games, because what else do teenagers do when the whole entire freaking world is on lockdown, you know? Besides play video games. And everybody else is online. We've been getting horrible internet signal lately, like really horrible. It's crazy. Looking nice, looking clean. It's so weird with you guys with the camera in front like that. It's a lot of adjusting when it comes to this so that everything lines up nicely. Oh, and more of my hair. I need to stop for a second. My brain is like, all right, where was that? Okay. There's always break below the nail line. Yikes. Mine do too sometimes. One finger salute. Too often, right? Hi, Lisa. I find that when I don't fuss with my nails, they seem to grow. Once I start fussing with them is when they break or split, because I'm focused on them more so. Mine just break. They just grow out of, like, my nails grow fast, but they're thin, and like I could just pinch it and it'll fold down or lift it up. Like, it's funky. I don't like my nails. That's why I just get them covered, but I'm going to have to knot for a while. Can't afford it. I see what you mean. You see what I mean about what? What do we see what I mean? I mean, see what you know what I mean. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going very slowly. Well, mostly slow. I kind of like run my fingers down it as I go, keeping it folded down once it hits the presser foot. That way it stays down and it doesn't lift the lip of the binding up and the other way, because sometimes it does that. It'll catch the lip right here and it'll fold it up or it'll fold it under, and it creates like a little funkiness. But most often it lands right where it's supposed to. So you just have to keep your fingers, that you're done with this area. This next area, you're folding over and holding your fingers against it. You're not like pulling really tight, but you're holding it so that it stays that exact distance, see, from the lip. Because or else this little lip, you can hear me hit it, or else that little lip will fold up into your presser foot. And if you're using a walking foot, it's even harder to pay attention to. I prefer to use the regular 1/4 inch foot, because the walking foot is harder for me to focus my brain on, you know. So I just use it this way, and I just hold my hands. So all my fingers kind of hold it down as I go. And we're going to come up to a mitered corner soon, and I'll do my best to show that. I probably won't show more than one, though, because I'm literally... Where did my snips go? There they are. Sometimes threads get right here in the seam. I always cut those out, because then they get stitched in on that next line that'll show up from sewing it. Okay, so So once I get down to this, I will unplug, bring you guys to the front and show how this works. Actually, I'll just show right now. I don't want my phone to die, so let's turn the camera around. I know some people are curious about this every time because you need more than one run through of how this works. So stay camera. Don't wiggle yourself out of here. If my hands are in the way, that's just because I'm trying to show you. So as you can see, I'm folding it down further, folding it down further. I'm using this lip in the center of here, and it's kind of like I don't know, about 2 stitches away, honestly. And I just focus on that line and stay to this side of it. And I use my fingers to fold everything down, and then I keep them holding it down so that nothing lifts all the way. I'm going to come to this mitered corner soon. So now I'm at this mitered corner. I folded it down to a 45-degree angle. Now I'm going to pick it up and fold that angle to where, oops, there's some thread in there. Let's push it out of the way. I don't really care if the thread gets in there. Take that miter. I'm going to keep that 45-degree angle and stick it on top. See how it's landing on there? Let's zoom in. I know this is so weird, right? See how that corner is like perfectly touching that in that 45-degree? Hold it there. Hold it there as far into holding it there. Come right to it. Take a back stitch once you hit that 45-degree angle. Then lift your presser foot, turn it because that corner is there. Like this. I kind of like that I can do zoom ins now, guys. It's really cool. Couldn't do that when I was on the computer. I'm going to sew along this edge for a second. Then I'm going to adjust everything. So let's unfocus. Don't fall. Unfocus so that you guys can see real quick. I'm going to come down here, following that edge. Sometimes it takes 2 hands and lots of finagling to hold it flat along the edge. But then what you get, can you see that? I never close off my mitered corners either, guys. So see that? I leave that little lip. As long as that stitch back stitched here. Do you see? And then I back stitched when I hit it, and then I back stitched when I passed it. So just go slow, pay attention. I always leave that open, and the back side should be just as nice. See? Come on, stay. There we go. I'm trying to get it to focus in the light. It doesn't want to. So there it is. A nice, beautiful mitered corner. So I showed one. Let's put this thing back on the charger now. Oops, wrong way. Flip you back around. Plug the darn thing back in. So I literally come like 1 stitch into this corner. It is amazing how close. Let's come into it one more time. It is amazing how close you can get. So sometimes the stitch looks like it's beyond it, but that's okay because I forward stitched and back stitched both directions. And it keeps it like literally as accurate as you can 100% get it. Like if this was being judged, they'd be like, oh my God, that's so good for machine stitched, right? So just watch for that. When you hit that lip on that 45-degree, just hit it once, back stitch, and then come down the other way. It helps. I said serious machine or screen. There we go. All the way back. All right, let's see what some comments say because I have to keep taking little breaks. Let's see. Okay, find that when I don't. Okay, I saw that. Hello, hello, hello. Said hello to Lisa. It's very professional. I see what you mean. Doing a great job. You're using the left side of the foot as your guide. I'm trying to see, but you're not zoomed in enough. Okay, here, let me put the camera back in front for just a second. Let's see if I can't zoom in more accurately for you guys one more time. But that's it, one more time, because I don't want to like mess up my what I'm doing, because it's hard to sew with a camera in front of my face. So we're going to come in directly from the front. Don't mind the wiggling. Gotta move my machine back just a little so this camera can go right here. Don't mind any wiggling or squirming, please, guys, because I can't really get it to stay just like that. Okay. Hoping that it's completely out of the way. So, folding it over. I gotta do it from far away. Now let's zoom in to the camera. We'll move it right there. There we go. That's a little bit more better. Okay, I'm going to zoom in so you can see where that foot is lying. I don't like doing this during videos because it's so wiggly. But to get the best angle, this is what you're going to see. All right. Can you see where that is lying? Let's get it to focus better. So this foot side right here, not this side, the left side, but the right side. What I'm doing is I'm lining, where's a pin? That's not long enough. This little edge right here, okay, here's the needle. This little edge is like on this almost, but not really. I am stitching, instead of stitching right here on the edge, I'm stitching like right here next to the edge. See that? So I would be going next to the edge. So watch while I do this. So it's literally, let's see how close you guys can even see. Move my fingers out of the way. See how it's stitching next to the edge? So this little lip is kind of touching this side right here, and it wants to lift. Let's see if I can do this without getting my fingers completely in the way. So see how it wants to lift? I don't let it though. I'll keep pulling myself to adjust it back the other way as it's like trying to lift. Sorry, when I'm in Zoom, I can't really tell. So I'm stitching along that, keeping it from lifting by holding my fingers down as I'm coming close to it. It almost is just blending because it's the same fabric, but I know you guys can see right where that lip is. It's touching this side, but I'm literally sewing next to that. So I have a tiny, tiny little lip. It's literally like, I don't know, 2 stitches away. So here it is. So you can see it's like 2 stitches, maybe 1. I don't know. It's literally on the edge. So I try to keep this piece right here where my funky nail is pointing from lifting in that lip. So when you follow it along, let me unzoom so you can watch my fingers. Grabbing this whole side, below where you cannot see, I'm folding it over. I'm that folded over. And then these fingers, all of them, well, not the pinky because the pinky is too short, kind of just line up right here. And they hold it down, keeping it, and I just move them as I go to keep that fabric from folding up, because once it folds up, you have to unpick and it really messes up. Good night, Pam. I saw it pop up on the screen, so that's why I know. So I'm adjusting below the camera where you can't see down there, making sure everything is nice, and then just following that little, without getting it to lip, using my fingers as close but not running over them. All right, so I'm hoping that you guys got enough of this angle, and as soon as I get to another corner, I'll show it one more time. And I think I just got off the lip, which just happened. So see right here, I'm literally on the edge of it. I don't like that. I don't like when it does that. So what I do is I don't actually undo anything. I just put it down, because later I'll see it and I'll come back to it. I'll start a stitch right here, 1 stitch above, and later I'll pick that little piece out. Sometimes it doesn't matter. We just want to make sure that it catches the binding and stays. That's pretty much the whole purpose of this. So it's catching it and I'm adjusting it. There we go. adjust it down. I have a long ways, I think, before I get to. Oops, sorry guys. Let's turn that camera around and get it out of my way. I'm gonna drop it again, and I don't want that. So as soon as I get to that miter, I'll bring it close again. Here, there we go. Down so you can see. So I just sewed over that. Where'd it go? Oh, you can't even tell, honestly. Let me zoom. There's a double stitch there. Can you tell? I can't. So who else is going to know? Nobody. It's literally double stitched right there. So there's 2 stitches, but it caught it. So it's caught. It's not going to open up. So that's a good thing. Okay. All right, so let's get down to this bottom, and then I'll bring you guys back up. Got to plug myself in. Don't want to kill the phone out, but I still want to get this whole thing done tonight. Adjust everything. Sometimes it doesn't look like I caught it, but then it's like right there on the edge. That one's not going to worry me. Okay, I'm going to pull those out because I'm not paying attention quite well, I guess. So I literally was able to just slide this in with the red ball in like this and pluck those out like that. So if that happens, just pluck them out. It's quite simple. And then go back to where I started the mess up and take a stitch and go over it again. Try to aim over a little bit better this time. That's the good thing about using a bigger stitch, because that like totally goes in really nicely. Best way to undo binding now. Oops, before it gets too far, let's snip that. Pull away any of those loose things. There we go. All right, coming up to another miter, and I'm going to bring you to a front angle view as soon as I get the whole thing onto this so that it's not hitting the camera. All right, here we go. One more time, and then this is the last time I'm going to do any of this moving the camera stuff, at least for now. All right, so let's move this a little. All right, turn the camera around. This way. Okay, so I'm hoping you guys will be able to see this whole mitered corner thing one more time at a completely different angle. All right, so let's come to it. You might not be able to use my knee. I pushed my machine out of the way so far. Okay, so now my hands have to come around it. Stay. Okay, so now the corner is sticking out. Just crease it with your finger. It's the best way to get this like 100% accurate is creasing with the finger. And there's my hair. You see this? You see that in the camera? It's literally everywhere. How many of you get your hair in all of your quilts? Oh my goodness, there's so much of it. And now that my hair is longer, it's worse. Okay, so see how I folded it over? Ready? Zoom in. That's as much as I'm going to zoom. It's really hard to tell because there's the corner. Oops, let's refold it because I want it to land. where it literally sits on that next piece. So it's right on there. See that? It's touching the edge. So I'm going to come right up to it. Come out, back in. I have to do a double stitch on that because I needed to make sure it's a certain position. Turn the whole thing. Just lift that foot just a little bit. Set it down. Take a stitch forward. Take a stitch back. And then zoom on down out of the way of it. I have not turned the whole quilt yet, but can you see? Oops, let's unzoom a little. Look, you can see the grain in the fabric. Look at that, guys. All right, so there is a mitered corner. So I literally caught this right on that edge. I laid it there, caught it on the edge, took a back stitch forward, came on this side once I turned it, and then forward stitch, back stitch. I kind of probably did it too many times, but that's okay. And you get a perfect mitered corner on front and on the back. Whoops. Very clean. Very, very clean. All right. All right, let's put you guys back right here. You get to hang out from the back side of the machine for now. I just realized that this is probably upside down. There we go. My little thing that I got from Creative Notions. I guess they're supposed to go to something because I see Becca open the box and it usually has one of these. She said something about it going for a necklace or something. It's a little magnet. I only have this one, but that's okay. I think it looks cool right here, the back of my machine. All right, so now I'm going to find this end down here. And now I'm going to start zooming. I'm going to look at comments real quick and I'm going to start zooming to get this done because I literally need to get this done and be done because my body is shivering and not cold shivers. It's inside MS shivers and I hate it. It's annoying me. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Find your binding. I'll find your binding videos. I'm sure you are very detailed. I try to be as detailed as possible, Jill. Good night, everyone. Okay, the farmer's market because I need some local honey. Okay, I saw that. No double stitch in sight. Oh, about my double stitch up there probably is what you were talking about. Everyone remember thumbs up. Thank you, Kim, for the reminder. My hair does the same thing. Yeah, I don't know why. And it's tied up. See that? It's tied up and still everywhere. I don't know how it happens. 10% of battery left on iPad. If I lose you, thank you for another great tip, Tiffany. You are the best. Okay, Jill. Then we'll see you next time if your thing dies. All right, so I'm going to zoom through this now, guys. I'm just going to go until it's done. You guys can bring up a subject to talk about, though, if you want. If there's anything anyone wants to talk about or ask, I could probably talk about it while I'm doing this. Let's see if I can get this to be a little bit more in front of me in hopes that I can hold the quilt away from. No, as long as I keep the quilt going kind of angled away and not hit my little tripod thing and knock you guys over and unplug the stupid phone and I'm going to try to go my normal pace because my normal pace is a little bit on the fast side. Although I do have a little bit more mistakes at my normal pace, but I don't really care because this isn't anything. It's just for sale. So it's more for teaching purposes. And mistakes are made in real life. So I need to make them they need to have had happened in this life of recording it. And if you see some of this, sometimes it looks like it's like folding up. It's just because the edge of the binding back here hit the batting or the way I had cut or trimmed it. Sometimes it doesn't want to fold over all the way because I didn't meet that full 1/4 inch at that, side. So there's like a little bit of wobbliness in the way I cut, but sometimes that happens. So I just adjust it with my fingers. All right, everyone, I'm going to have my hubby snoring lull me to sleep. Good night, Jill. Like I said, if you guys want to talk about something, bring up a subject, and I'll look in a second and see. Gives me something to talk about unless you guys want to hear me sing, which is not very good lately at all. 2 seconds. Inhaler time. I can feel it. I can feel it. I started keeping it in here now. So I have one in here and one next to my bed. Asthmatic problems lately. Everything wants to be wrong with me. When I'm trying to go fast, it just doesn't work right. Believe how easy it is to take out binding now. Just slides right out. It's like it caught it wrong right there. Now stay. When I try to rush, this is what happens. All right, coming to a mitered corner. So I'm going to pull it down. So closely up to it. Oops, I kind of went too close. Lift my foot up. There, I'll turn it. This one's a little bit more on the sloppy side, but I don't care. You really can't tell. Turn the whole quilt and go. I even made it sloppy and it's still not sloppy. To me it is. You guys are like, what? Let's zoom that in. You see that? It's sloppy, but it's really not sloppy. Oh my God, come on. My fingernails are hitting the screen and it doesn't look like I'm unzooming. You guys get lots of face shots tonight. Sarah, how is your bonnet lady quilt coming along? I'm okay. I'm doing okay on it. I have an old pattern for the sunbonnet suit, but I haven't tried it yet. I'll be making a video on it again. I've watched the ones you're doing on her. That's one thing I have not done is a sunbonnet suit. I have a thingy for it. I just haven't done it. A little pattern. I would modernize it and put it in some like rock and roll type clothing. I wouldn't do flowers or anything like that. I would do something really cool like skull dress. Only because I'm silly like that. And I like modern as opposed to traditional, which is what sunbonnet Sue really is. So I'd have rockin' bonnet Sue if I did it that way. And I have some really cool sugar skull fabric that I could use for that. quilt is gonna fall. Don't fall. Don't fall. Stay. Found some threads way over here. Make sure that I get them out. Okay. Sometimes it feels like water cools in my throat. And I want to cough, but I'm trying not to because coughing hurts. Okay. Oh my goodness. I'm at the end. Look, guys, I'm almost done. Almost done. Almost done. And it's been an hour and 16 minutes. Oh man, this is going fast, even teaching it. Almost done. Almost done. And if you see a wet spot on the quilt, it's because my mouth dripped water. So whoever gets this quilt or buys this quilt will have a water droplet from my mouth on it. Don't worry, I don't have the coronavirus. Sorry. I know it's sad. A lot of people are getting sick, but sometimes it's just too much to see or hear about on the internet. And I did it again right at the end. Oy, oy, oy. There we go, right there. Right there, Tiffy. Put it right there. All right, guys, almost done. Coming around to that final mitered corner. Sorry. When I see it, I need to get rid of it because it's bothering me. Come on. Catch that stitch so that I can get under there. I'm going to redo this little area real quick because it's bothering me. As long as I can make room for the little ball to fit under here. I just put the ball under the binding. And then slide my thing up. Pull that out. Anywhere that I have a problem, anywhere on this whole entire quilt, I can just do that over and over again. And then restitch it where it needs to be. Because again, I am using a thread that shows on here, so I do want it to be somewhat nice. That is where it's supposed to be stitched. Come past it, do a back stitch, break thread, clip away that excess thread on the back that I drug through. Get rid of all that excess because I did rip it pretty far. Don't have to get up and do anything. Just sit here and do it. All right, let's put this back under the area. Start this mitered corner area. Pulling it down nicely, trimming away any excess threads. Also trimming away the thread where I started. Folding it over. Come on. Last corner, and it doesn't want to behave. Behave. There we go, right there. And there's more of my hair. Gotta fix this again one more time. There we go, right there. Stay. Stay right there. Turn it. Clip that away. Clip this away. All right, here we go. The last of it. I'm going to pull it nice and tight, the whole quilt. Run my finger along that. Just hold it down like I normally would. Except I'm holding the whole edge to where I meet up with my original stitch. And I'm going to line it right up on it. Back stitch. Trim it. Trim away the excess right here. And I am done. All right, so I'm going to hold it up in a second. Give me a second. I'm going to read comments before I get up. But there's another mitered corner. Even though sometimes you feel like you're struggling holding it down, it still should line right up, you know, at the corner. All right, let's see. Okay. Thank you for watching. Can you upload pieces? I embroidered a set of denim Dan blocks, but did them in girl colors, trimmed some with lace, put bows and hats on for a girl. It turned out cute. I've done some applique blocks from a pattern that belonged to my great grandmother. It makes 18-inch blocks. Wow, that's a big block. Okay. Oh, boo, Kenny Rogers died today. Interesting. Kim says I did great. All right, guys. I'm going to turn the camera and then hold it kind of up, and we're going to call it at almost an hour and 30 minutes. It took me to put on binding on a 74 by 84 inch quilt. So that's not too bad. I'm trying to pick threads away as I see them too. You know, sometimes you see them and you just want to like find the source, though. Don't yank it. Just find the source and snip it. Sometimes there's more than one. Sometimes I just kind of snip away. It's usually just stuff that got folded in. All right, this quilt is finally 100% completed. All right. There we go. So it's like it's edgeless. Because see, it's the same. So it's edgeless. Matches right up, blends right in. That's one advantage to using the same border on the same backing fabric and the same binding, because it, like, that's why I used the backing fabric as the binding, because it blended so well. So it pulled all that together. Let me find the top. So you can't even tell. It's edgeless. It is an edgeless quilt. And it looks super duper good all the way around. Let's come close this way. Don't get stuck cord. Here we go. See? So it's nice and straight. Whoop-de-doo. Look at that. Turned out really good. And it matches the same color stitching as the quilting. And for those that didn't get to see the last video, this is my quilting. I did like a ribbon, a leaf, and then a loop-de-loop, swirly, veiny, viney thingamabobber. And then I used swirls or loop-de-loops or lassos, there's lots of names for those, to get around from piece or from part to part. So almost like a quilting machine would have done it with a computer, because I stayed consistent. But I showed you guys how to do that. And then my tag is at the bottom. So it blends in the direction. See how the direction is the same? I mean, from far away, you would never know because it's the same thing. It doesn't actually match. I didn't match it, but some people probably would do that. So as long as it's in the same direction, it flows in there. So there's my tag. I always, you know, because when I fold the quilt up, I put the top lip in it so that when you open a box, if you open a box, you actually see the tag first, the way I fold them. So that's really cool. So there that is. Again, it's 74 by 84. Pretty nice size. And I named it Fall Fair because the pinwheels that were along both sides and that were created by putting the blocks together, see, are in it. And then the fabric is very much fall fabric. So that's why it got its name. I always fold quilts like this if you're curious. Find the end, unless there's like something in the center of the quilt, like Lone Stars. I do not fold Lone Stars in half. I fold them in threes because it messes up the center. But any typical quilt like this, I fold it in half, in half. Okay, where's my tag? It's on that side. So I fold in this way. No. Yes, in this way. I had to think for a second. Fold it in half. You probably can't even see what I'm doing. Fold it in half. And if I was fancy about it, all this goes in here. If I was doing it correctly, but I'm not doing it correctly because I messed up my fold. When it's nice, it folds in, and then I shove this in like that nicely so that what you see when you open a package is the quilt, but I can't get it correct right now. I have to refold it because that's what I'd have to do. I think I go this way actually. I haven't sent a quilt in the mail in a long time. This one ain't going in the mail though. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. It's folded. It's done. There's a quilt. I finished. Woohoo. Okay, let's read comments. Oh, there's one of my favorite singers. That turned out beautiful. Very pretty. All right, guys. So you got 2 minutes to ask questions because it's an hour and 28 minutes, and I'll stop the video at an hour and 30. So if you guys have anything to add or ask or whatever, you know, ask away. I'm here. Oh, I just realized that I have a super chatty thing. Nobody's ever used it. I really don't care, but I just realized that it was never there before. Okay, well, since nobody has anything to say, I'm going to get off of here. If you're new to my channel and you liked what you saw here, don't forget to subscribe. Insomniac videos are always after 10 p.m. Whenever I feel like coming on. They are called episodes. They are numbered only because, just like TV episodes, you never know what's going to happen next. So just after 10 p.m. whenever I feel like coming on. And any other video is just random. Sunday, I have So Sunday, which is around 5 p.m. Arizona time. I typically try to come on at 5. Sometimes it's delayed. Other than that, subscribe, like, share the videos, and I will see you all next time. Any weekend plans for me? No, staying in bed. That's what I do best. All right, guys. Well, you all have a wonderful night. Thank you for hanging out with me in the middle of the night because it's like it's only 12:15 in the middle of the night. Oh well, it's not that late. And hope you guys get some rest. Bye now.